Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I would like to recognize the presence of Dr. Charles Monica, our Chancellor, Dr. Glenn Jacobs, Provost of St. George's University, Dr. Marius Lucas, the Dean of the School of Medicine, Dr. Sean Charles, Chief Medical Officer, Ministry of Health, Dr. Robert Grant, Senior Associate Dean of Clinical Studies and our keynote speaker today, Dr. Mark Clunes, Senior Associate Dean of Basic Sciences, Dr. Lucy Eugene, the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Neil Olson, the Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Lucy Clunes, the Dean of Students, Dr. Anthony Andel, representative from the Provost Office, the deans, chairs, and heads of departments within St. George's University School of Medicine, our faculty members, staff, parents, and most especially our students, class of 2028. As a proud alumnus, there you go. As a proud alumnus of St. George's University School of Medicine, I have very vivid memories of my own white coat ceremony many, many moons ago. I remember the excitement, the anticipation, and yes, the nerves. For me, donning this white coat was taking on a responsibility to my future patients and my future colleagues. And this was a responsibility to prioritize empathy, compassion, and the patient-centered approach. An approach that goes beyond just treating symptoms to truly understanding and addressing the individual needs and concerns of every patient. So I would like to start by sharing with you a brief history of the white coat ceremony. In 1993, the Arnold P. Gold Foundation created the white coat ceremony at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons to promote humanism in medicine. With guidance from the Gold Foundation, St. George's University School of Medicine initiated its own white coat ceremony in 1996, long before many other US medical schools. In 2003, the Gold Foundation founded the Gold Humanism Honors Society, an international society dedicated to the promotion of humanism, professionalism, and ethics in medical practice and medical education. Dr. Arnold Gold sadly passed away at the age of 92. He was an international advocate for humanism in healthcare, and we were very honored to have hosted Dr. Gold and his wife Sandra as keynote speakers for our spring 2005 white coat ceremony. SGU's chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society is based in the Department of Clinical Skills, and it is supported by the Dean of Medicine's office. Our chapter established the Humanitarian Student Organization in 2009, and through this organization, students in basic sciences promote humanism across St. George's University and the Grenadian communities. Chapter members are nominated by their peers and inducted during the clinical training and when they participate in an ongoing chapter project. It is now my pleasure to introduce and welcome to the podium Dr. Glenn Jacobs, Provost of St. George's University.
Good morning. I stand on the protocol already established. On behalf of St. George's University, I would like to welcome all of you to the campus and the island of Grenada. I'm also very pleased today to welcome once again our Chancellor, Dr. Charles Monica, who's able to join us here today for this special white coat ceremony. Now, a warm welcome to all the parents, family, and friends present here today. I hope you are enjoying your stay here on the island. You are very fortunate to be visiting us during a very special time in Grenada. As you might have noticed, as you might have seen and heard, this year, Grenada is celebrating its Golden Jubilee, its 50th anniversary of independence. Now, we at SGU are happy to celebrate this event with the community of Grenada. And what a special time for you to receive your white coat. Now, you might have noticed all the red, green, and some people say yellow, but it's actually gold colors around the island when you come in and on our campus, just like this. Same colors. All right. So, seeing all these colors, you might have wondered, what's the meaning of these colors? What do they stand for? Maybe you don't. Maybe you know. If you don't, if you do, I'll just refresh your memory. So, the green represents the island's vegetation and agriculture. The red stands for courage and vitality. And the gold yellow represents warmth and wisdom. And it's this word wisdom that I would like to reflect on with you students sitting here in front of me. Students, I'm very happy to welcome you in person. Now, I will not be addressing you that often. The next time I probably speak to you as a group will be during your graduation. Yeah, believe that or not, you will be amazed how quickly that will be. Now, you have all come here with great intellect. You have and will gain lots of knowledge while being at SGU. But I trust that during your time here, you will also develop that word, wisdom. John Esau, best-selling author, explains it so well in his book, The 5 Secrets You Must Discover Before You Die. Wisdom is different and fundamentally more important than knowledge. Knowledge is the accumulation of facts, whereas wisdom is the ability to discern what matters and what does not matter. Unless we can discover what really matters, we cannot find the true meaning in life. So, I will encourage you students to enjoy your time here in Grenada, explore the island, get to know this great community. When you see me on campus, please stop me, introduce yourself, say hi, and enjoy this very special day with all your loved ones. Wear your white coat with pride. Congratulations, you deserve it. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marius Lucas, Dean of the School of Medicine.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, class of 2028. It's a great moment. I was at that seat, not in this school, unfortunately, in another school, many, many moons ago, as Dr. Abrams said. And really, it's a very important moment for all of you, and definitely all of us. You came to a great place. St. George's University has achieved great things the last couple of years, or last decades, actually. One of them is that we are the #1 provider of physicians in the United States for 4th year in a row. And that's significant. And that's a significant achievement regarding the healthcare of that big nation. I'll go a little bit off script here, and I would like to share with you 3 important advices to make your life in St. George's University and generally a little bit easier. Advice number 1, that goes to our students. We have to be positive. Every morning we're waking up with a big smile and we go to bed with another big smile. You can have very difficult classes, very difficult colleagues, very difficult weather, extremely hot, humid, right? Tough life, in other words. You have to always have a big smile. Make it a habit. Make it a habit to have that positivity coming out from yourself. People always like to work and make friends with positive people. So let's try to make it a habit. Even if your grades are not what you expect, even if your parents, they're yelling at you that day because for whatever reason, even if your boyfriend or girlfriend, they're not very happy with you, make it positive, all right? Just big smile and everything is gonna work out at the end. Second thing, ask for help. There is no selfish, there is no ego here. We're asking for help for every single thing. All the great athletes, they have a coach. A coach is helping them to become better. Not because you got a 90% in the exam, it doesn't mean that you don't need the help. You always need help in a different types of forms. So the school, for example, has all the faculty available for you, administration, has the Department of Educational Services, DES, to help you becoming better and better students. But at the same time, you have to reach out not only when you're in the need for help, but also to become better. Imagine, 95, you can make it 100, you can make it 99, so reach out. And the third thing, and I'm saying this because I'm a dad, and I have 2 kids, and one of them is in college here at SGU in Arts and Sciences, and we're very proud of her. Talk to your parents. Talk to their loved ones. Not because you came to Grenada, they don't exist. Believe me, the parents plays a significant role in your education and in your life. I believe they are far more stressed out than you are here because they're away and they're like, what's happening? He has an exam on Friday. Do you have an exam on Friday? Did you study on Friday, right? And there's a lot of questions. So please, 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 don't forget your parents and your loved ones. Make sure you call them on FaceTime periodically with your face on, not off. They love to see you, and I'm sure they will really support you from far away. Anyway, with those words, congratulations again, and I think you're going to have a great education in this great place. I would like to introduce, before you clap, the legend itself, Dr. Charles Modica, the founder of St. George's University. Charles.
Good morning. I'm very honored to be here today with you. And if you think it's something I'm just saying, you know, one of those instant remarks, I just flew in yesterday. Got here, what time did you get here, that flight? I don't know, late in the afternoon. I'm leaving today. So I came here for this. And it's because of my respect for what you're about to go through, my pride in knowing that you'll do it well. And some of you who have family and friends here, I kind of want to brag about you to them and let you know how I got my job. I went to medical school in Spain in the early 70s, at a time when the U.S. had a certain war going on, the Vietnam War, and at that time, you had a draft deferment if you were in medical school anywhere in the world. So half the students that went to Europe in those years were, not really wanting to be a doctor. The other half did. I was one of those that did. And I was the first in our family. My grandparents were all from Italy, all 4 of them. And my parents met in Coney Island, Brooklyn. And at the high school there. And they got married and moved to Long Island. My dad did really well as a builder. One day in high school, I came home. You know, they used to have those little fairs with different vocations you might be interested in when you become an adult. And I guess, what was you, 15 or so, came home. And I said, Mom, I think I want to be a doctor. That's a showstopper, let me tell you. If I had known then what I know now, I don't think I would have mentioned it to her. So therefore, anything after was not going to be talked about. I went to college, did well, but not well enough to go into a U.S. medical school. Not because there was anything wrong with me, but because there weren't enough seats in the system. And that compounded by the fact that I was a baby boomer after World War II. We just were all born within a couple of years of the end of the war. I'm like a history lesson, aren't I? A little scary, I know. Anyway, it was hard to get in for people that really wanted to be doctors, as well as people just looking to not have to go to Vietnam. And so I went to Spain, met many other Americans there, many who really wanted to become doctors, one of whom actually had a son that graduated this school. And I recognized that in my first year that a lot of those students had paid large agency fees to go to med school. And I thought it was kind of crazy. I didn't. I figured out how to go to the consulate generals of Italy and Spain and figure out how to apply. So I was always kind of an entrepreneur, I guess, and trust me, I was. And I wrote a guide on how to get into foreign schools without paying agencies. And I came back that summer after my first year. This is all going somewhere. I know you're going like, this guy, get this old guy out of here. But it's a warm story. And hopefully, it'll mean something to you in a way. I hope it does. Cross my fingers. And I came home that summer. I passed everything, approvato. My mother got the report in the mail, unfortunately. So when I told her I didn't think I was going to go back to med school in Spain, she cried, understandably. And firstborn to even go to college, you know, that kind of thing. She cried for about, it was only about 2 weeks straight. And I was urged by my grandfather, who came out from Brooklyn, to have a little talk with me. So what are you going to do with your life, type of thing? And I said, I'm not really sure. He goes, well, I'm sure. I go, what? He goes, you don't want to be a doctor? You're going to be a lawyer. I go, all right, that sounds good to me. And one of the things I want to mention to you is that I went to law school, pretty much not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And the respect I have for you is, you earned it, let me tell you, because I know. I was in 1 year of med school in Spain, passed everything. In my law school class, I don't say this to brag about me, but to let you know how difficult what you're doing is. I was mediocre, I passed everything in Spain, okay? Out of 300 students in law school, and I wasn't pre-law, guess what my rank was in the first year? Number 1. Yeah, I got all sorts of awards and everything and scratched my head. And you know why? With all due respect to my fellow lawyers out there, I'm not a lawyer, I just have a JD, but I don't practice, thank God. But, yeah, it was like reading short stories. If you've ever read a case, you know it's basically a short story. You get in there, you understand it. And the first day in class, I asked the professor, do we have to memorize the citation of the case? And my classmates turned around and they go, what the heck's wrong with this guy? I figured I had to memorize something, right? No. So law school was a breeze. It was fun. It was like reading the Reader's Digest, you know, that kind of thing. And so when I tell you I respect you, you're about to become doctors. It's not easy. You've got to want it bad. I don't think we have any people escaping the draft here. So you all want to be doctors. And I talked about that book a moment ago. And I wrote that book, and I wrote to every college in the United States and asked the pre-med advisors if they put these little posters on the bulletin board somewhere. And I was sitting pretty good in law school. I bought a Corvette, you know, hey. Life was good. I sold a lot of books, made some money, did a lot of good in the world, saved a lot of people $1,000 agency fees in those days. My book was $8.95, not bad. $8 instead of $1,000 is not a bad deal. And so as I went to different colleges to promote the book on weekends, I remember at every meeting, somebody would raise their hand and say, okay, that's great about Spain, Mexico, you know, whatever country it was. They're all in the guide. What about English-speaking schools? And that was the first hurdle they needed to get over. That ain't going to happen. You're going to study in a foreign language. So it didn't take a lot for me, at least in my crazy mind, to say, you know, wouldn't it be great if somebody could start a school in an English-speaking country and have primarily American students? And, you know, what was I, 24, 25, you know? You think you can conquer the world, right? And you should be thinking that, by the way. Some of you will. And so I wrote to every English-speaking country in the world, went to the library, I looked it up in the atlas. If the native language was English, they got a letter from the Foreign Medical School Information Center, which was my book publisher, asking them if they were willing to participate in the study to create a new international medical school. I got a few letters back asking more questions. Some I wrote to the Minister of Health, anybody I could think of in that government got a letter from the Foreign Medical School Information Center. I literally had a shoebox on my desk in law school on the upper corner with the study I was doing that wasn't getting much action, okay? So the significance of my story, because I know you're getting bored to death, I'm sorry, but it's the founding of the school. It's how I got my job, you know? The significance is this, Grenada's 50th anniversary. And the interesting thing about that is my study, I told you, was going on at least 6 months, not much action. I happened that day, and it was 3 days ago, on Wednesday, whatever you were doing on Wednesday, 50 years ago, I can tell you what I was doing. I went to class in law school. I happened to buy the Wilmington Evening Journal. I was at Widener University in Philly, and the newspaper. I wasn't a subscriber to it. I needed an independent country to grant a degree that would allow our grads to practice medicine and take the boards through the ECFMG. I knew that from the guide I had published. Grenada was not independent when I was writing all those letters to independent nations. Didn't even know Grenada existed, frankly. Most of the Caribbean nations were not independent yet. In the bottom right corner of the Wilmington Evening Journal that day, this is like 3 days ago, 50 years ago. So you're kind of getting drawn into the history, right? I opened the paper. I didn't have to open it. On the front page, I'm skimming. I'm getting ready to study. And in the World Today section, you know, I guess they still have them in some of the papers. They had little snippets of articles that were going to be in the paper. In the World Today, I think it was the first or second one on the right side bottom, one of those 10 stories that were highlighted with a sentence or two. The tiny nation of Grenada received independence from Great Britain. Okay. I was like, wow. So I went all out, and you won't know what Western Union is because you people have, well, God knows what, Facebook and all that stuff. But in those days, to get an instant message to someone, Western Union was the answer. I went to Western Union and sent a telegram to Grenada, to the Prime Minister, whose name was in the article. And I remember how it went. It was the Foreign Medical School Information Center wishes to congratulate the nation of Grenada. And this would have been Thursday, so 2 days ago this telegram was sent, 50 years ago. Wishes to congratulate the nation of Grenada on its recent independence. Very recent, 24 hours old. I didn't know where Grenada was. I had a globe that I used for the other countries. Oh yeah, that's right before Trinidad. I'll take that one. As a newly independent nation, your nation is eligible to be included in the ongoing feasibility study for a new international medical school. I had the shoebox. There was a study going on. We would like you to reply within the next 30 days, mainly because I didn't want to just study law for the next 30 days. I wanted to be thinking about something else, and to be included in the study. The woman who answered that, I was on the phone with her yesterday. She's still here in Grenada. She was the Prime Minister's assistant. She answered that telegram about a week later, so that's now into the future on the 50 mark. I looked under my apartment door every day. I got back from class to see if I saw a little bit of a yellow envelope, because that's how they deliver them. Sure enough, about a week later, pulled out the envelope. I knew it couldn't be very bad news. It cost so much a word to send telegrams in those days. And the nation of Grenada wishes to be included in the study. Please let us know what we have to do next. They were immediately the forerunner in the study. And I called home to tell my dad the good news. And again, he's a builder, second generation. I'm second generation from Italy. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, well, I got this study going. I didn't mention it to you. I didn't know if it would go anywhere, but I got a telegram from the fine nation of Grenada. They want to be in the study, so I need to put together a little bit of money and expertise and everything else to start a medical school. And he said, son, and he was a loving father, I have 2 words for you. You're crazy. The next morning, using my diplomatic skills as a 25-year-old, I called my mom. I said, you know, Mom, I'm a little sad. I had this thing going. I told Dad about last night. She goes, tell me about it. And she said, oh, that would be so wonderful. Why is that? She wasn't thinking in the same way I was. She goes, you know, well, your brother's 9 years younger. I think he wants to be a doctor. If you start a school, he'll go. Fast forward, he did go in the early 80s. He's a cardiologist and the chief of intensive care at a Connecticut hospital. And by the way, his son is also a graduate. He's in emergency medicine now. So a lot of good things happen. And it makes you appreciate, think about that. Whatever you were doing on Wednesday 50 years ago, I happened to pick up that newspaper. If not, I probably would be a local Long Island lawyer and practicing law and all this. And the Prime Minister mentioned this during the celebrations. Deacon Mitchell, our new Prime Minister, talked about the improbability, because he knows all these stories, we've talked about them, and that this could have happened. So I want you to be aware of that background, not only because you'll now know how the Chancellor got his job, but the fact the fact that you've been part of the nation of Grenada. We're a large part of the economy here. You've done your job well by getting here. You have a very competent admissions committee that is, if there was a hook here, they'd be trying to drag me off now. That decided that you can make it here, and they don't fool around with that, believe me. So you have all the tools, but you've got a complicated toolbox. It's not as easy as law school, I can tell you that. And most of you will become physicians out of here, and you will be the pride and joy from an old guy as I'm getting up there. Hopefully I'll be presiding at your graduation and give you a big shake of your hand and take a nice photo with you and all that. And hopefully your family and friends will know how challenging it is to do what you're about to do. So we all have a lot of love for you, a lot of hope and prayers, but I think we also have confidence that you will do well. So I'm going to now introduce our speaker, who's part of our administration now, one of your deans. And he's also a fellow Long Islander. He made his mom a lot prouder. He became a doctor. Nothing wrong with that, right? We're both from Suffolk County on Long Island. Robert Grant is a senior associate dean for clinical studies at St. George's University School of Medicine. And he's responsible, see, I get to read something here, you know. It's better, that way it'll be shorter. He's responsible for the medical clinical training activities, including developing the shared third and fourth year curriculum with clinical partners, site visits, and monitoring activities. Prior to joining SGU, Dr. Grant was a plastic surgeon in chief at New York Presbyterian Hospital and the University of Hospitals at Columbia. He directed the plastic surgery residency program at New York Presbyterian from 2010 to 18, and he served as the vice chair and then chair of the hospital's graduate education committee, a role for which he was responsible for oversight of all residency training programs across the hospital's Columbia and Weill Cornell campuses. In addition to his academic rank of professor of surgery at SGU, Dr. Grant is also professor emeritus of surgery at Columbia University Irvine Medical Center, College of Physicians and Surgeons, as an adjunct professor of surgery, plastic surgery, at University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. He also holds a consultant appointment at Roswell Park Cancer Center Institute in Buffalo, New York. Dr. Grant is a member of the American Association of Plastic Surgeons, American Society of Plastic Surgeons, American Society for Aesthetic Surgery, Association of Academic Chairpersons in Plastic Surgery, and is a fellow of the American College of Surgeons. In addition to having a robust reconstructive plastic surgery clinical practice, he also served as New York Presbyterian Hospital System's physician advisor, director of care coordination, and medical staff office for more than a decade. He served as the inaugural president of the Association of Physician Leaders in Care Management and the physician branch of the American Case Management Association. She's got a lot going for him. Dr. Grant received his BS in biology, magna cum laude from Rensselaer Polytech, and his MD degree from Albany Medical College. He completed his general surgery and plastic surgery residencies at the New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center. He finished clinical training with a microsurgical fellowship at NYU Medical Center, Bellevue Hospital. He received his Master of Science in Management from NYU in 2000. Please welcome Dr. Grant, your dean.
The Chancellor is always a very difficult act to follow, but I will do my best. Good morning, class of 2028. It is really an honor and privilege to be here as the White Coat ceremony speaker. I'd like to add my acknowledgments to the Chancellor, to our Dean Lucas, to the Provost, who you heard from, in addition to my fellow Senior Associate Dean, Dr. Mark Clunas, who's here, the rest of our staff, faculty, colleagues, your families, and all of our friends at St. George's. As you've heard, this is an especially important milestone for you. I did my best to wear colors, so that's why I have my gold tie on and my gold pocket square, because I wanted to be here wearing and continuing the tradition of the colors in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the independence of Grenada. I knew Dr. Arnold Gold during my time at Columbia. Dr. Gold was a diminutive man, but it was only his size that was small. His stature and his influence extended many meters above my height. I remember how he would always bow down, he was a pediatrician, to be on the same level with his patients so he could see them eye to eye. This physical action is a powerful metaphor for how each of us as physicians should always seek to interact with our patients, to meet them at their level. The white coat that you will receive today is much, much more than just a piece of clothing. It is a symbol of trust, responsibility, and service. It represents the values and ideals that you have chosen to uphold as future doctors. Compassion, altruism, duty, honor, respect. Most importantly, I think integrity. Integrity to yourself, to the profession, and to the privilege that you're given as you care for your fellow man. While you can remove the coat, you can never, ever relinquish the obligations to your patients that you have assumed and to their care. You will become privy to people's most private and deepest of secrets, as well as their fears. You will have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others that no other profession can offer. I'm sure you're wondering what kind of career awaits you. I had no idea I was going to be a plastic surgeon when I went to medical school. In the reception, if you're curious, I can tell you how I started out going to medical school thinking I was going to be an eye doctor. Well, everyone's journey will be, and yours too, will be just as exciting, I'm sure. But I want to share with you just one example of what you can achieve having come to medical school, specifically here at SGU. You heard from the Chancellor about my ongoing academic appointments, and I receive faculty newsletters from the different Ivy League schools where I continue to have academic appointments. I got this one in the mail the other day, and I want to share one of the stories in it with you. In it is the story of a Dr. John Pryor. Dr. John Pryor had a lot of fun in college. He had a blast. Unfortunately, one of the consequences of having that much fun in college is that he didn't get into a domestic United States medical school. But St. George's University gave him a chance. He came here and he thrived. Not willing to give up his dream of becoming a doctor, he reinvented himself. While studying here at SGU, he once again fell in love with the study of medicine, and coincidentally, fell in love with another student who subsequently became his wife. So realize that the connections and networking that you make here may extend beyond the professional only. In my medical school class, 1/3 of the students married another classmate. Not saying that's an obligation or a responsibility. However, I was not one of those students, but just be aware that those sorts of things do happen, and you never know when Cupid's arrow is going to strike. Dr. Pryor's ambition carried him through surgical training and a trauma fellowship. After the ongoings that happened in New York City in 9/11 and Washington, D.C., as a trauma surgeon, Dr. Pryor volunteered to become a combat surgeon. His family and friends begged him not to do so, but he felt this was his obligation to give back. He wrote a great book. It's a very powerful book that describes his experiences caring for wounded and injured, as well as those who did not make it serving in our armed forces while in Iraq. And very sadly, on his second combat tour, on Christmas Day in 2008, he died in an enemy rifle attack. The newsletter summarized his life and his contributions to surgery and trauma because he was the honoree for the 2023 Military Ball held in Philadelphia. While each of us will probably not have a medical career as heroic as Dr. Pryor, I have no doubt that each of you will also have a similar kind of impact on at least one patient over the course of your careers. In addition to your patients, the impact that you'll have on your families, on your communities, and on each other as professionals is one that I know will always be positive and a tribute to our profession. Many of you know that I'm based in New York City. I relish the opportunity to enjoy all that New York City has to offer, in addition to the fact that it is a direct flight here to Grenada, so that in times like January and February when we do white coat ceremonies, it's really nice to be here. How many of you have seen Hamilton? Hamilton is the story, of another fairly impressive historical figure who spent some time in the Caribbean before making his fame in Europe and North America. Some would say perhaps a bit of infamy associated with it too. I mention Hamilton because the advice Aaron Burr gives applies to each of us as we enter a new chapter of our own professional journey. How many of you remember the song that says, "Smile more and talk less"? If you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. Smile more and talk less. Don't try and BS your instructors, admit you don't know. Smile more and talk less. As you put on your white coat for the first time, you may feel a mix of emotions: excitement, pride, anxiety, curiosity, or even doubt. You may wonder if you're ready for this journey. You may wonder if you have what it takes to succeed, if you will in fact make a difference in the lives of others. I can only reinforce what you've heard from our dean, from our provost, and from our chancellor. There is no imposter syndrome at St. George's University School of Medicine. Let me assure you that you are not alone, however, in these kind of feelings. Every doctor who has gone before you has faced similar challenges and questions about their competency. Every doctor who stands before you today, myself included, has been in your shoes. We know what you are going through, and I also know that every doctor who will come after you will look up to you as a role model and a mentor. Know that now you are a part of a community of healers, a family of medicine that spans across time and space. You are connected by a common bond of knowledge, skill, and compassion. You are supported by a network of teachers, colleagues, friends, deans, administrators, and loved ones who will guide you, who will inspire you, but most importantly, who are here to cheer you on. Each and every one of us here at SGU is here for each other. As you heard from Dean Lucas, ask for help when you need it. After all, a seasoned clinician knows when to ask for a consultation when the patient has an issue that's outside the area of his or her competence. No physician ever masters the entire fund of knowledge in the specialty. That's why medicine, as practiced today, is a team sport. Except that there will be times when you will give your best and things will still not work out the way you want. That's okay, as long as you gave your best. Take excellent care of yourselves too, mind, body, and spirit. As our friend and colleague, Vice Chancellor Rich Leibowitz has often reminded me, when the plane suffers a cabin decompression, you'll hear the flight attendants tell you, put your own mask on first before going to help others. You have indeed worked very hard to get to this point. You have demonstrated your academic excellence, your personal growth, and your professional potential. You have earned the right to wear this white coat and to join the ranks of us who have dedicated their lives to the noble cause of healing. This, however, is the beginning of your journey, not the end. The white coat is not a badge of honor that gives you authority or prestige. It is a reminder of your commitment to serve humanity with humility and excellence. I can tell you it is a challenge in the face of the complexities of the modern world to always keep learning, to keep improving, and to keep caring. The famed Canadian physician Sir William Osler said, "The secret to caring for the patient is to care for the patient." As you embark on this new phase of your education in medicine, I urge you to embrace the opportunities and responsibilities that come with it. Be curious, be eager, be respectful and empathetic to every person that you meet, regardless of their background, their beliefs, or circumstances. Remember, you're there as their doctor. You're not there as their potential life partner or to make a friendship. Remember that when you're dealing with someone who you're caring for who may have a different personal or political philosophy than your own. Be humble and honest about your strengths and weaknesses. Seek feedback and guidance from your mentors and peers. Each of you, I know, has the courage and the compassion to face these difficulties and the dilemmas that will be part of each and every one of your own professional journey. I implore you to be ethical and always professional in each and every one of your decisions and with your conduct. You must uphold the highest standards of quality. Finally, I ask you to be open to new experiences and challenges throughout your career. Here's an example of this from your own life. In 1973, I set foot on the island of Grenada as a 12-year-old on a day excursion from a cruise ship. My father was in the Navy and loved to take our family on Caribbean cruises. Apparently, I did not get those sea leg genes because from the minute we left New York Harbor until we arrived here at St. George's Harbor, I was in the bathroom puking. There is a picture of me at age 12 smiling with a grin from side to side as we set foot here in Grenada. I don't think it was because I was happy to be in Grenada. I think it was because I was happy to be on dry land. Who would have thought? I never could have realized that 51 years later, predating independence, that I would be absolutely thrilled to be standing on this stage, wearing my gold color, having my pin celebrating Grenadian independence. Keep an open mind to these sorts of possibilities. How fantastic an opportunity this is for me to be your clinical dean. I never would have guessed as a 13-year-old that I'd be back in Grenada and loving it even more than I did when I visited with my family and got back on dry land. So, as you celebrate this milestone with your family and friends, I ask you finally, above all, be yourselves. Do not lose sight of who you are, why you chose this path, and what makes each and every one of you unique. Do not let the white coat that you're about to put on define you, confine you, or otherwise inhibit you from being the kind of person that you have the potential to be. The white coat will empower you, and I hope it inspires each of you to be the best doctor and the best person that you can be. Class of 2028, allow me to add my congratulations to you all on this milestone. All of us at SGU are incredibly proud of you and the potential that you have. We are all very excited for you, and I'm very excited to meet you again when I speak to you during my Term 5 presentation and when I visit clinical sites and interact with students. Looking out at you, as I am fortunate to do from this spot, it reassures me that the future of our medical profession is in very great hands. I wish you all continued personal and professional success always. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Grant, for those very inspiring and encouraging words for our class of 2028. So at this time, St. George's University School of Medicine will now present you with a white coat symbolizing your entry into the profession, your commitment to uphold the duties and trust associated with medicine and with medical training. So I would now like to invite our college directors and faculty to take the stage. So our quotas today will include Dr. Mayana Charles, Dr. Vanita Narayan Ramnath, Dr. Simone Pierre, Dr. Michael Montalbano, Dr. Rachel George, Dr. Alvin Billy, Dr. Crystal Rampasad, and Dr. Tiffany Clementson. All right. Now, in recognition of our international enrollment, Dr. Sasha Lake, our Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs, will call each student by name and college. Those students who have today with them a physician, family member, or loved one will be quoted by those physicians. Please hold your applause until all students have been quoted and keep the aisles clear for the duration of the quoting.
Good morning. I will now like to call on the students from Blackwell College to be quoted. Kelsey Noel. Shanique Griffith. Special Nikki. Bridget Tyson. Talia Frank. Kayana Tanis. Shariel Felician. Minky Khan. Maya Julian. Alicia Graham. Chelsea Gangadine. Diamond De Silva. Keisha Roberts. Nafi Renee. Maxine Cox. Jackie Takawe. Heather Olowski. Talia Simon. Maricel Vivek. Raven Sekong. Sachin Kakar. Joanna Hills. Jonathan Park. Jonathan Masalamini. Olivia Moline. Judd Cadet. Rebecca Verde. Linda Dinko. And now I would like to call on the students from Curie College to be quoted. Jessica Turpin. Assad Batik. Fadi Halut. Rio Canel. Natalie Borba. Shawnee Tucker. Courtney Bell. Christopher Nahera. Dania Basile. Fariha Razak. Saeem Abbasi. Elvis Josimi. Caleb Sapp. Sheridan Pierce. Nicholas Trower. Sarah Asani Igani. Michaela Francis. Janique King. Jared Billig. Simone Joseph. McComb Udoson. Steve Suarez Rivera. Jethan Joes Matthews. Ahmad Al-Basha. Junaid Ikramadeen. Rihanna Stephen. Zandria Antwine. Ashin Ashraf. Amanda Magdalena Arenas. Anya Gupta Chada. Abel Sokolka. I would now like to call on the students from Fleming College to receive their white coats. Ashley Zenorovitz. I.C. Ballantyne. Amanda Seaborn. Danit Ibanez Enriquez. Dervans Mashad. Igor Pietro. Dylan Nareen. Carolina Vejenas Cartagena. Elizabeth Prissy. Shane Laird. Hien Kong. Noor Qureshi. Parvez Ibrahimi. Anya Tiagi. Sarah Pilling. Brittany Hannah. Arij Alquan. Rishab Mahun Kamar. William Louis Darish Hashmud Rodoti. Graciela Moran. Jasleen Darney. Maria McHale. Naya Ferdinand. Sean Mann Jr. Joshua Zhang. Nia Banfield. Seema Patel. Mahenur Banu Ijadar. Sophia Leone. Sarah Rotowski. Martin Mattis. Lawrence De La Luna. Alexandria Simone Adekunle. Brianna Roos. Cleopatra Trong. Vanessa Sylvester. I will now be calling on the students from Galen College to be quoted. Jada Paul. Avery Brown. Angelina Villarreal. Helen Popola Samuel. Ovia Manivakam Vikanand. Tanisha Karen Jean-Philippe. Nicole Orbina. Zhongjing Li. Naila Fatima. Zaman Tuma Mabasal. Vikramjit Soki. Hussein Aisha. Richard Terranova. Het Mehta. Hashem Ahmed. Jacob Soninklar. Hoha Nguyen. Sunny Bajuri. Haley Shaper. Anika Raja. Sarah Aribamen. Abdulaziz Amir. Tamara Akika. Blessing Bazue. Jade Forbes. Jordan Johnson. Terilyn Britton. Rakia Minot. Kelsey Mahasi. Syra Mohammed. I will now like to call on the students who would be quoted by their designees. Omar Magad Kamel, quoted by his mother, Dr. Abdel Gawad. Swara Mehta, quoted by mother and father, Dr. Mehta. Anthony El Rahab, quoted by father, Dr. George El Rahab. Dominique Assing, quoted by aunt and mentor, Dr. Lisa Radix. Catherine Venta Tagore, coated by Father Dr. Venta Tagore, Krishnamurti. Abhinaya Kumar, coated by Uncle Dr. Deepak Sharma. Michael Hoffman, coated by Father Dr. Greg Hoffman. Taj Khan, coated by Mother Dr. Shazia Izak. Michael Bistrick, coated by Brother Dr. Joseph Bistrick. Macy Johnson, coated by Father Dr. Craig Johnson. Shia Foy, coated by Mother Dr. Michelle Foy. Donna Noel, coated by Father Dr. Dolan Noel.
I would like to express my sincere and warmest congratulations to all of you guys, class of 2028. So congratulations again to all of our students. So I would now like to introduce Dr. Anna Cyrus Murden, Assistant Dean for Simulation and a St. George's University SOM alumnus, to lead you in the professional commitment. So all of our students and any physicians in the audience, you can stand to join us in the commitment as well.
Good morning. Hold on. Did you just get your white coat? Good morning. Good morning. Excellent. So it is my honor to ask the class of 2028 and also all of the other physicians in the room, can you please stand? All the other physicians in the room, please stand. Join me in reciting aloud the professional commitment which could be found in the front of your programs. This commitment was written by a student task force in 1995 and has been recited at each of our School of Medicine white coat ceremonies. Are you ready? Today is the beginning of my medical education and training as a physician. I acknowledge my responsibility to continue the pursuit of knowledge and understanding until that day when I will cease to be a practicing physician. I am entering training of a noble profession in which my interests must always be subservient to those who seek my assistance. I must be ever conscious of the value of my fellow health professionals and treat them with the respect at all times. My classmates at St. George's University are now my colleagues, and I owe to them the same support and encouragement to achieve their goals as I hope to receive from them. I will work alongside my colleagues and professors with tolerance, compassion, and honesty. I acknowledge my obligation to adhere to the University Honor Code and to conduct myself with integrity and in an ethical manner at all times henceforth. I shall do all within my power to show in myself an example of all that is honorable and good throughout my medical career. It is a privilege to have been given the opportunity to become a physician. May I be ever conscious and never abuse. Congratulations, class of 2028. Please be seated.
So on behalf of St. George's University, I would like to thank all of our students and their families, our faculty, staff, administrators, and specially invited guests for your support and presence at this ceremony. So we're asking that everyone please remain seated and keep the aisles clear until our students have exited as directed by the ushers, and the students will be following the dais party. And thank you guys for joining us today, and we do have a small reception at Monica Hall available as well. So thank you, everyone. And again, congratulations to the class of 2028.